everybody and welcome. In today's video, I would like to present to you the pieces and outfits that I wear the most from my handmade wardrobe during the fall season. And this reflection has two objectives, and the first is very personal. It's that I often start thinking about the projects I want to make and imagining how I will wear them without always thinking about the practicality or what I actually wear in my everyday life. And my life has changed radically pretty recently. I lost my job, so I'm no longer as much in the city and I'm working mostly from home on this channel. And so I am thinking about the sort of pieces that I want to make and what will work with my new lifestyle very much at the moment. So that's my entirely personal objective. And the second is that I figured because these pieces have served me sometimes for years in my wardrobe, perhaps this will give you some creative inspiration for your future sewing projects if you're looking for staple wardrobe pieces to devote your time and invest in. And so not only these pieces, but also the silhouette and style, colors, and the fibers of the fabrics that I picked out for these outfits and why I enjoy wearing them. And so perhaps that will help you define your future projects as well. At least I hope so. So you'll see that these outfits entirely depend on the context of my life. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Sarah. I'm originally from the United States, but I moved to France during my undergraduate degree and I created a life here. So I live in the suburbs of Paris. Now I work mostly from home, but I used to work in publishing in the city. And on this channel, I mostly talk about sewing, but also a little bit of knitting, and I dabble in embroidery from time to time. And then also a little bit of what it's like to live in Paris or in France in general, because that does influence what I make and wear. And so welcome. Really quick before we get started, I wanted to say a big thank you to those of you who contributed to the YouTube Super Thanks or the Ko-fi account that I set up and announced in my last video. I was not expecting such an enthusiastic response from your part, and I am so grateful. Thank you so much for showing your support for this channel, especially now that I'm concentrating on trying to make it my full-time job. It is crucial, and I really appreciate your support. If you are unable to contribute and support monetarily at this time, that is absolutely fine. I totally understand, and it is not at all a necessity or obligatory to be welcome here on this channel. You are all very welcome, but I do very much appreciate the gesture and solidarity. Thank you. So this is now the second time that I have made a video on my most worn and favorite fall handmade pieces. And the last video dates back to 3 years ago in 2022, and it's crazy how much my style has changed since then. In terms of color and silhouette, my preferences have changed a bit. I still have those pieces and I still love them very much, and so I do still wear them sometimes, but not as frequently. And that's why I created this list for you today, to give you some new inspiration based on pieces that I reach for a lot now. And then also I've been thinking about how to best keep my content authentic. And I decided for this video that if I don't iron these fabrics and these clothes to wear in real life, then I wouldn't iron them for the video. And I don't often do this, but I also don't often show you what I wear to bed, for example. So if it's for a fitness class or if it's for pajamas, then I didn't iron them because I don't iron them in real life. And I think it's interesting to see the fabrics and how they behave when they're not perfectly ironed before wear, how they wrinkle and how they look after wear and wash. And so that's why some of the fabrics in this video won't look pristine. And I think it's more interesting that way for you as well. So without further ado, I have 7 outfits to present to you today, ranging from more informal, casual clothes that I wear while working from home or going to a fitness class, to more formal outfits for going out to dinner with my husband or going to a show like a ballet, for example. And then the star outerwear piece that I wear all fall. So let's get started. So the first outfit I would like to show you is my most worn working from home outfit, and it's what I'm wearing today. It is the Seymour Callan sweater that I made with the bonus sleeves, which are tighter and straight and more classic sleeves. And I made it in this really lovely wool blend fabric. I think it's mostly polyester, but it has about 5% wool, and it keeps me nice and warm, and it's not too itchy. From Stoffe Meer, which is a fabric shop in Germany that I have been going to much more often for sweater knits. And I will link all of the fabric shops and as much fabric as I can below in the description, so don't hesitate to check that out. But this sweater has been one of the most useful pieces in transitional seasons and in my both fall and spring wardrobe. I just love this really light gray color. It's just gorgeous. So because this fabric has a little bit of wool content, it is a bit itchy against the skin, and so I do always layer it over a silver Edie top, because the silver Edie top fits the neckline almost exactly, which is just lovely because I have many Edie tops. I love making them for sleeping in especially, and it's just so luxurious to have a viscose or bamboo jersey against the skin underneath this top, and it doesn't add too much heat or bulk. In this video, I filmed it over a navy blue Edie top, but then I'm also wearing it today over this sort of blue-green Edie, but because it's completely invisible underneath the sweater, I can wear whatever color I want and just sort of play around with that. So while I'm working from home, I almost always wear this sweater with the Seamwork Margot skirt in this black double knit fabric from also Stuff & Mer, and it is one of my favorite fabrics to wear because it is this thick double knit fabric, but it is mostly made out of viscose fibers rather than polyester, and so it doesn't trap odors. It is super soft and really stretchy. That's the only downside of this fabric, is that it's so stretchy that it doesn't stay up around my waist, but when I'm working from home and looking for more ease of movement and just something cozy, this is perfect. It feels like just a blanket wrapped around my legs that comes around with me wherever I go, and I usually wear it at home over leggings, but when I go out I wear it like this with tights and then also my dark brown boots and then socks. You'll see these dark brown Chelsea boots quite often because they go with everything and I love them. They are vegan, and I can't remember the brand name right now, but I'll put it below and I'll link it below as well if you're interested. I bought them last year and they have been absolutely essential in my wardrobe. They go with a lot of pieces. The second outfit is for going out in the city, so going to a museum or walking around doing some shopping in Paris or going to a friend's for brunch or lunch. This is the Helen's Closet Elliott sweater in the same double knit viscose fabric from Stuff & Mer that I just presented in the Seamwork Margot skirt, but this time in a charcoal color that I absolutely love. It is super soft and cozy, and I really love the cowl neckline. It's not too tight around the throat, and it's just lovely and soft. I modified this sweater a little bit by lengthening the sleeves to a 3/4 length. So the original length of the Helen's Closet Elliott sleeves are just above the elbow, but I prefer 3/4 length, so about an inch or two below the elbow. So I just lengthened that a little bit, and I prefer that silhouette on me. And then I very often usually pair it with this black and tan wool fabric from Mystère Tissu that I found years ago and that I absolutely love. I made the Silhouette Ultimate pencil skirt that I hacked into a mini skirt version because I love the fit. It just fits so nicely around the hips and at the waist, and I love that it is high-waisted and just sort of fits my hips really easily. Because I had already made a few Silhouette Ultimate pencil skirts in the original lengths, and I had perfected the fit around my hips and my waist, and so it was just really easy to hack it to a shorter style and keep that fit around the waist and hips, and then I just love the high-waisted fit of it. This fabric is one of my favorites to wear, and it was one of my favorites to work with as well because it is wool, but also I think a polyester and viscose blend. And it was one of the first times that I had worked with wool as in not wool coating, but just a wool fabric for a skirt. And it's just a joy to work with. And I highly recommend working with wool. It is really lovely to wear as well. It keeps my legs nice and warm, and the shorter length of this mini skirt means that it's pretty mobile, and I really like to pair them with my tall leather boots, and these are from Geox that I bought years ago and that served me very well throughout the fall and winter season. For fitness classes, I have recently found a barre au sol or floor bar class that I have been able to go to now that I don't work 9 to 5. I have been trying to go weekly, and I really like the style and the professor, and so yeah, it has been a positive part of being laid off. And to it, I wear a pair of ready-to-wear yoga pants, which are starting to show their age. I've had them for over 5 years now, and they don't fit very well, and so I've been thinking about making my own yoga pants so that I would be able to wear something that fits me correctly, but it's a bit intimidating. It's a sort of stretch fabric that I find intimidating. But if you have any yoga pant pattern recommendations, please do leave them in the comments below. It would be super helpful. But at these classes, I love wearing my Paper Cut Patterns Coppelia cardigan that I made in this blush pink viscose jersey from Minerva. This is the perfect piece for a ballet class or a floor bar class because it layers really well over other pieces. And I not only love this blush pink color, which is very balletic in itself, but this fabric is super stretchy, easy to move in, and super soft, which is sort of luxurious for a ballet class. And I'm thinking of making more, specifically for fitness classes, because I just love wearing it as a layering piece. And then to these classes, I always wear my cloth ballet slippers. You can do floor bar in bare feet or socks, but I like wearing my ballet slippers because I already had them anyway, and they're from Repetto. But it also helps me remember to point my feet because I associate ballet feet and pointing feet with ballet slippers when I put them on. It's sort of a mental reflex. And so yeah, that's what I wear to my ballet and floor bar classes. This next outfit is something that I would wear for dinner out with my husband in the city. Sometimes when he gets out of work, we'll meet in the city for dinner before going home. And so it's not a very formal situation, but it is still dinner time and nighttime, and I do like to dress up a little bit. So I usually wear something more comfortable and cozy on top, and I've been reaching for more and more this taper v-neck sweater that I made in this double knit viscose fabric from Rascol, which is an online French haberdashery. I just love the thick v-neck neckband of this sweater. I think it's really beautiful in the way it attaches in the back. It reminds me of kimono necklines, which I find really beautiful. And then I shortened the sleeve length to 3/4 lengths because I find that more flattering in general. And I remember I didn't have a whole lot of this fabric, and so I had to anyways to fit it all in the small piece of fabric that I had left from another project. And this fabric is a luxury against the skin. It's super soft and squishy, and I absolutely love it. It's hard to find double knit fabrics that are both viscose in content and white. And so I'll link that below as well, because it's a lovely fabric. And then I like to pair it with this True Bias Blair skirt that I made in this cool wool in this sort of dark gray green from Saut Tissu, which is one of my favorite fabric shops in Paris. And I love this skirt. This is a button-down midi-length skirt, and I absolutely love these dark green buttons that I got from the Mercerie de Charonne, which is my favorite haberdashery as well, and that I think suit this fabric really, really well. And it's my first time working with a cool wool, which is a really versatile wool fabric. It's more for suiting, and it does make sort of a swishy sound when I walk in it, but it's really nice. It's not too hot, not too cool, and it's really useful when it's raining, for example, because it's slightly water resistant. And so because the trench coat that I usually wear in the fall that I'll present to you very soon only goes to my knees, this keeps my legs nice and dry when it's raining. And because the fall and winter seasons in the north of France are very wet and rainy, it's super practical. I really love this silhouette. I've been enjoying wearing more and more midi skirts or longer skirts that aren't as flared. And then this sweater as well, I didn't expect loving it so much. I thought that the drop shoulder cut of it was going to look a little bit too bulky on me, but I find that the neckline is just so beautiful, and the sleeves are tight enough that it's not too large and loose and just sort of frumpy on me. And so yeah, I love this outfit. This next outfit is for going out to a more formal event or a show. I love going to the ballet, and I have been taking full advantage of living close to Paris to go to as many ballets as I can. And so this is an outfit that I would and will reach for when I go to the ballet this season. I'm only going once this season, but I'm so excited. And this is the Butterick 6453 dress. It is a princess seamed and close-fitting strappy dress that I made in this navy blue and burgundy jacquard fabric from Minerva. So this dress I've had for a long time. I made it originally in 2019 for a friend's December wedding, and then I also got to wear it to my French naturalization ceremony because I became French in 2019, and that took place at the end of the year as well. And so I have good memories associated with this dress, and I absolutely love it. I love these purpley colors. I find that the burgundy and the navy blue are both a little bit purpley, and so I think that it suits my coloring pretty well. And then because it is more fall colors, but a strappy little dress, and so not very warm, I always layer it over tights, and then I very often wear it with this Helen's Closet Blackwood cardigan and this dark raspberry wool knit that I found at Guthrie and Ghani years and years ago as well. It was 5 or 6 years ago, and it's just gorgeous. It's the first Blackwood cardigan that I ever made, and it cemented my love for the Blackwood cardigan. I love that it doesn't look too informal because it doesn't have buttons or a closure in the front. It's almost like between a cardigan and a blazer in this wool jersey. And I think that the wool fabric gives it a little bit more nobility because it's not very stretchy and slouchy, it's a little bit stiffer, and that's the only bad thing about it. This fabric doesn't have as much stretch as you need for the Blackwood cardigan, so it's a little bit tight around the underarms, but I love it, and it keeps me nice and warm, and it's this beautiful dark raspberry color, and so I'm not sure if they have anything like it at Guthrie and Ghani now, but I will link that shop below if you'd like to go check it out. And I love this outfit. I would pair it with my ballet flats in this suede fabric from Tom's. And then I love the almond toe shape and the crossover effect of the fabric in the toe of the shoe. It's just so pretty. And so this is what I will definitely be wearing to go to the ballet. I have tickets to go see the Notre Dame de Paris by Roland Petit. I'm not sure how you say that in English. The Notre Dame Ballet by Roland Petit. I have never seen it before. I haven't even seen previews of it. I've only ever heard about it, and then I know the story from the Disney movie. So I'm really excited to go see that. So now back to more informal outfits. The next outfit I would like to present to you is what I wear on the weekends for outdoor weekend activities. So going grocery shopping or doing a Costco run, for example, because that exists here in France too, or going to the picking farm because we have a farm not far from where we live where you can pick your own veggies, fruits, and flowers, which is exciting, and I love going. But for these activities, I usually wear my Classic Core Patterns ginger jeans paired with my Crayabea kip sweater that I finished this spring. And this has been something that I reach for a lot on the weekends, ever since I finished this sweater. So these jeans are made out of a navy blue stretch jean fabric that I found in, I think, 2018 or 2019 at Pretty Mercerie, which is a French haberdashery online, because I made these jeans in the spring of 2019 to go to Japan for the first time. And that was just an amazing trip, and so it's a memory sort of associated. It's the piece that I made for that trip. And I love these jeans. They fit like a glove. Literally, it takes some wiggling to get them off. And so this is definitely in more of the cigarette style pants and tighter stretch jeans that really espouse your curves. But I love the high-waisted fit because I chose that to make the high-waisted version. I love this color of navy blue, and it's just been a workhorse in my wardrobe ever since I made it. And then this kip sweater I made in this Durarium Natura Ulysse yarn in the Poivre Blanc colorway, which means white pepper in French. This was a really difficult project. It took me about 6 months to make. It's mostly because the pattern is pretty easy to get, but it's not explained for each size how to make the pattern work. You have to figure it out yourself. So when you're doing the increasing along the back neckline, or when you're picking up the stitches at the sleeve heads, it was really difficult to figure out how to add those stitches and keep a consistent pattern, herringbone stitch pattern, at the same time, because there are tips given, but it's not walked through for each size because each size will require different modifications to make that work. And so figuring that out was a headache and took me a really long time to make. I think it was the first time that I've ever made a pattern like this, so it was, yeah. But I'm really happy that I persevered and got it done. The sleeves, I do need to go back, rip back the sleeves and do them again because the sleeves aren't decreased from the elbow to the wrist. It's the same width from the bicep to the wrist, which means that it sort of hangs open and just drapes at the wrist, and I find it really, really inconvenient. It gets caught on everything, including faucets, and I have more than once almost poured cold water down my sleeve. And so I usually wear them rolled up until I find the time and the motivation to rip back and redo the sleeves and figure out how to do decreased stitching all by myself. But I love this yarn and this fabric. I think it creates a really lovely weight. It's not too hot, not too cool. It's sport weight yarn, so it's great for transitional seasons like the fall or the spring, and I just love it. It's squishy and warm and really convenient for outdoor activities when it's cool and windy in the shade and warm in the sun, and it's nice and comfy. And then the last outfit I'd like to show you is what I sleep in. So this is the classic combo that I wear all year round, but I change the fabrics out. And so in the fall season, I wear the Silver Luna PJ pants in this navy blue, red, and green checked 100% cotton flannel fabric from Mondial Tissu, which is another French store. It's a chain all throughout France, but I will link it below as well. And then I like to pair it all year round with a silver Edie top, which I have in a variety of colors in the drapiest, softest, and luxurious viscose jersey fabrics. I usually don't pay attention to the colors as much, but I did for this video. And so this one is a dark blue version that I made a few years ago in this fabric from Benitex, I think. And I love it. It's just so soft and luxurious, not too hot, not too cold, and yeah, I really, really love these PJ pants as well. I made them during my holiday winter sewing video last year, and it was a little bit difficult to cut out because I wanted to make sure that the stripes matched. But what's great is that these Luna PJ pants only feature one seam in the pants, and so it's much, much easier if you want to pattern match because you only have one lateral seam to focus on. And then I just really love the fit of these pants. I love that the legs are not too wide, not too skinny. I love that the rise is really comfortable. It's not quite at the natural waist or at the high hips, it's sort of in between, but depending on how tight you make the elastic, it can be as comfortable as you want, and it doesn't pull or squeeze or anything when I sit and move around. So I just love these PJ pants, and I highly recommend them if you're looking for the perfect PJ pant pattern. And so yeah, this is what I wear to sleep every night, and it is just lovely, this cotton flannel fabric and viscose jersey. It's nice and soft and warm and keeps me cozy. And so last but not least is the star of my fall wardrobe, and it is my trench coat. And this is the Named Patterns Isla trench coat that I made back in 2018, so it's getting old. But I love it, especially in the spring and the fall. It serves me so well, and it's just a classic, timeless style. I modified the length slightly by making it knee length rather than midi length, because at the time in 2018 I much preferred knee length. Now I prefer midi length. So I am planning on making another trench coat to complement this one and to slowly phase it out while I figure out how to repair it, but also have a trench coat to wear, but I digressed. This one is gorgeous. I love this beige color. It took me forever to find this sort of light stone beige, and I found it at Sacré-Coupon in Paris, which is one of my favorite shops in Paris, and I'll link that one below as well, don't worry. I found it in one of their bins outside. It was a promotional coating bin one day, and it was just like Providence. Oh, you know, I immediately knew this is the fabric that I've been looking for forever. And it is a gabardine. It is double layered, which is really cool. It has, so the outside is a cotton gabardine and the inside is sort of a black scuba fabric that makes it extra resistant to water, but that's why it's starting to show wear along the sides, and that's why there's black that's starting to show through. That's the scuba fabric that doubles behind it. So that's the inconvenient part, is that when the cotton gabardine wears away, there's immediately black right behind it. And that's what I need to figure out how to repair. But this trench coat is so useful. It fits all occasions and all of my outfits. I can wear it more casually and open. I can wear it just loose. I can put it over my shoulders. When it's cold and blustery and rainy, I wear it closed and belted. I love this coat. It has served me very, very well. It deserves all of my respect. And I'll be looking for a way to repair it and make it last even longer, because I think that this very classic style goes really well with everything, and I just love this color. So there you have it. Those are the 7 outfits that I wanted to present to you today of the pieces from my handmade wardrobe that I wear the most often in the fall season and in the fibers and the colors that I love. Don't hesitate to check out the description below. I will link all of the fabric shops and any fabric, if it's available, because a lot of these fabrics I bought years and years ago, so they're probably not available anymore, but this one, for example, this sweater, it is. So I will link that below. Don't hesitate to check that out, and if I don't have enough room in the description, I will pin a comment somehow. Let me know in the comments. My fall wardrobe is still pretty limited because I much prefer sewing for the summertime, for example. So if there are pieces that you reach for over and over that you would want to recommend from your handmade wardrobe or ready-to-wear wardrobe, we can't sew everything. It's absolutely fine if it's ready to wear. Let me know, because I often get inspiration from you, and I love when we have this interaction in the comments, so don't hesitate. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. And then if you would like, you will find the super thanks button and the coffee link, depending on which way you would prefer. If you want to send me a tip, I would highly appreciate it, and it would really help to sustain this channel. I hope you have a beautiful fall or spring season if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. I will see you again very soon with another video. Take care, and bye-bye.